Gonna hit you boys again with another live stream. I'm being arse-spankingly consistent with these streams. Today's a Sunday as well, so I thought, 11 a.m. UK time on a Sunday. I'm sure we'll get a lot of Casanovians joining us. And yeah, I wanted to title this one, She Needs to Be Taught How to Be Approached by You. So this is actually a conversation that I've been having with one client of mine specifically. So I coached him a couple of weekends back in Manchester. You know when you just meet somebody, like, you know when you meet somebody and you just feel as though your souls are just aligned with each other. Like he's 37, I'm 26, and he was saying to me like he's waited 37 years to come across this content. Like he's been trying to learn all this stuff like for like as long as he can remember. And then he came across my stuff in like March time, and then he watched a few videos, immediately got in contact with me. We had our weekends together, like just truly life-changing experience, like they all are, but yeah, I don't know, you just meet people in your life, don't you? And it just feels like, brother, like we were meant to connect with each other. So it looks like he's going to be coming to join me out in Argentina when I'm going to be in Buenos Aires in most likely October and November time. So you heard it here first, boys. So Christian's going to be going over to Argentina. So if you want to come and join me out there, like if you want to come and become part of my radically ambitious network of Renaissance warriors, if you want to crush it with me out in Argentina, maybe you're in the States at the moment, maybe you're somewhere else in Latin America, maybe you have the freedom to go wherever you want, bro, come and join me. I'll be out there for 2 months. It's going to be an unbelievable experience, whether you want to work with me for 3 days, 7 days, or something longer. Either drop me an email, ukdaygame@gmail.com, or book yourself in for a free 30-minute consultation call. There'll be a link at the end of this after I finish the stream. And also as well, final update before we get into it, there's now only one more place available for the Game God Summit, which is happening in Krakow in August. So the 17th to 24th of August, I'm going to be out there in Krakow hosting the Game God Summit. So it's for 2 guys, only 2 places available. 1 place has been sold. So it's £2,000 for 7 days. All right, so bear in mind, 3 days with me usually costs 1,500. So for an extra £500, you're getting an extra 4 full days with me. All right, this is an unbelievable offer. The place is going to sell out. That place is gone, sold out fast. So if you want to secure your place, it's going to be an absolute fucking ball. Krakow in August. It's like the girls. Krakow, to be honest, is like one of my favorite places for day game. The girls are super receptive. The level of English is superb. It's just a very magical, majestic, romantic city as well, Krakow. So yeah, Game God Summit's happening mid-August, 17th to 24th. 1 place has been sold, 1 more place available. If you want to get involved, ukdaygame@gmail.com, or book yourself in for a free 30-minute consultation call. Boom, done, let's go. Enough of me trying to sell you shit, but you know, when I've got value to give, it's like I'm sitting on Bitcoin in 2008. It's like, bro, fucking get on this. Like, come and connect with me. Come and connect with my other guys. Become part of the network, and let's fucking crusade, crush it, conquer the world together. You know, that's what I'm about now. It's about building that network of radically ambitious Renaissance warriors. Like, wherever I go, you go. All right. Like, whenever I'm going somewhere, like my guys are invited to join me. It's entourage, right? I'm out in South America. Yo, come and join me. I'm out in Brazil. Come and join me. I'm out in Dubai. Come and join me. I'm out in the fucking Algarve. Come join me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's always been for me, right? It's like, how can we take this shit to the fucking moon, and how can we change as many lives as possible, right? A rising tide lifts all the boats. This goes deeper than day game, right? This is not just about picking up girls. All right, like if you're following my stuff just purely for that, then fine, watch it, but you probably don't resonate with me as you need to. This is a journey of masculine excellence. It's about becoming the most fuckable version of you, and it's about being able to fearlessly go after what you want rather than settling for what you think you can get. Because remember, in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you think you deserve. So ask yourself right now, am I playing it safe? Am I more scared to lose? Am I excited to win? It's probably the latter, and you probably should be taking more bold action on a daily basis to get out of your own way. Stop cock blocking yourself, stop castrating yourself with your own confidence, so you can actually live a life that you're proud of. All right, imagine yourself 20 years from now looking back at your life thinking, oh shit, I wish I'd done more. All right, I wish I'd actually put myself out there more. I wish I was able to take more risks. I wish I stopped caring what other people thought. Like whatever, like you're your biggest asset. All right, like you are your biggest asset. Invest in your biggest asset, which is yourself. Learning skills which are actually going to change your fucking life. Anyway, I've titled it, She Needs to Be Taught How to Be Approached by You, because the conversation I was having with my guy, this feeds perfectly into this, is because when you're going out there, especially if you've been doing this for a long time, like, like the whole cold approach thing, oftentimes we can get desensitized to it. Or even if you go out for, let's say, a hardcore day game session this coming Saturday, and you've done like 25 approaches, right? You're going to become more desensitized to the process. But for that girl, this is most likely the first time that this has ever happened to her. So you can often find yourself getting rejected simply because the girl rejects herself because she doesn't quite know how to respond to this. Does that make sense? So like one of the most practical things you can do, they used to do all like old school, right? Literally saying, I know that this is random, or I feel as though that has almost become lost in cliche now. Like, oh, no, this is random. Like, guys just say it to say it. Guys just say it to pre-frame the open. Like, I know this is random, but you look beautiful. But like, if you actually tap into that phrase, like, I know this is random, like, it's going to put the girl at ease because you display social intelligence in the moment. But you don't just have to say it at the start. Like, you can say it after you're open or midway through the conversation or even as you're getting the girl's phone number to just demonstrate you're a guy who gets it. So let's say I want to go and approach Susie. All right, beautiful Susie, strutting down the street like an absolute swan. So I don't know her name at this point. Excuse me, are you Susie? Great, you look beautiful. By the way, I know this is random. Christian told me to say that. So you go over to the girl, you say, yo, excuse me. I just wanted to say that you look absolutely beautiful. And let's say she gives you quite a neutral response. She's looking at you like a rabbit in headlights. She doesn't really, it's not like a negative reaction, but it's not really a good reaction either. So it's like, you look beautiful. And she's just like looking at you, like she has no fucking idea what's going on. Then you bring it in. Right? Then you bring in that phrase, well, listen, I know this is random, or I know that this is a little bit out of the blue, or I know that people don't usually say this. And you say it in a way which conveys understanding, right? You're not just saying it like an expressionless robot who's just saying the thing purely to say the thing because he's heard other people say the thing. It's like you actually have to meet her in the moment and understand what she needs from you. This is like, you could go over to some girls and they might just keep walking. Fine, forget about those. Those are the no girls. But this works especially well with the maybe girls who need to be taught how to be approached by you, right? So you go over to the girl, you look beautiful. She looks a little bit standoffish. Well, it's fine, don't worry. Like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I know that this is a little bit random. People don't usually do it, but listen, I would have regretted it. All right, I would have regretted it if I didn't come over here and tell you that you look beautiful. So what are you doing today? And then if she still is not really feeding into the conversation, which can often happen, and this is why a lot of guys will just bail at this point. There's a video actually which I've got, which is how to flirt with challenging girls. I made it back in Manchester, back in my troglodyte days. I looked absolutely horrendous there, so please forgive me. But it's like how to flirt with challenging girls. And like that conversation perfectly depicts what I'm trying to get across to you here. Like staying in the conversation longer than you feel comfortable and not waiting or not being dependent on the girl to flourish like a flower in front of you, but actually giving her space to come to her own decision and actually warm up to you as well. So you can just type in how to flirt with challenging girls, Christian Casanova. It will show you the full in feel. But let's say you've done the thing, you look beautiful. Listen, I know this is a little bit random, people don't usually do it. And let's say she still isn't biting. Okay, you literally just want to find out why. All right, and guys, and I get that this can be difficult to do it if you've never done this before, because like you just want to get the fuck out of there, right? You're just like, oh no, eject, eject, eject. We need to leave this conversation. So it does come down to a sense of emotional resilience. And this is not me saying you just need to game her more. She just needs more gaming. It's not that. It's like, don't just keep talking if she is giving you a negative reaction. But if she just does still feel a little bit perplexed, you just want to find out where she is in the moment. Like, listen, maybe I've caught you in a little bit of a bad time. You're looking a little bit dazed. Like you're thinking, wait, what does this guy want? Listen, like I say, I completely understand that this is a little bit weird, or maybe a little bit out of the blue. But what are you doing today anyway? And then try and get a normal conversation going. But you want to find out her why, all right? Because if this has never happened to her before, she almost needs her hand being held through the conversation, right? It's almost like you're teaching her how to have a cold approach conversation. And this is why I'm always banging on to you boys about build value. All right, become the most fuckable version of you, and then use this purely as a means of delivering your value to the world. There are far too many guys, and guys will get upset about this. I've been called whatever names under the sun about saying this, but it's true, so I'm going to continue saying it. Game does not trump all. Looks do matter. There's a big difference between looking good and being good looking. But above all else, your social skills need to be sharp, right? If you lack solid social skills, so if you struggle to communicate with people who you don't know, then please get your social skills sorted first, okay? You can go to things like improv classes, you can go to meetup.com, you can go to dance classes, salsa, bachata, kazumba, just putting yourself in front of more people who you don't know more often. So for me, I had very bad social skills growing up as a teenager in the Lake District. I was an only child, single mother household. I didn't have any friends growing up. So I taught myself how to perform magic. So I took it upon myself to go out, cold approach people at 13 years old around parks in the Lake District. I had all of that approach anxiety at the start, right? I just got through that early. Right, guys will watch my stuff thinking, oh, this guy's a natural, this guy's always been good. Like, you didn't see the decade of time that I actually invested into myself before I did any of this shit. All right, you can't judge someone. You can't, if you go to like an art gallery and you look at a Van Gogh painting, you can't just look at that and be like, oh, he was just a natural, he just had it easy. You don't see the trials and tribulations that went into creating that finished product. Too many guys are comparing their start to someone else's finish. Right? And that's where you get fucked up. Like, you can use other people as motivation, but don't let admiration become imitation, right? We're all on our own trajectory. I think this is a problem these days with things like social media. All right, you've got like 18-year-olds becoming multi-millionaires, and you might be a 27-year-old guy who is a little bit down on his luck right now, hasn't got the finances that he wants to have, and you're scrolling on Instagram watching these crypto guys in Dubai living up. The guy's 18, and you're like, oh shit, I'm getting left behind. I'm not good enough. I don't stack up to this guy. But it's like, it doesn't serve you any purpose, right? We're all on our own journey. Like, you can curate your online profile to motivate you. Like, oh, this guy's absolutely crushing it, or this guy's got more of this than me, or this guy's got a better body than me. So that's going to motivate me to get off my ass. But when you find yourself bogged down in other people's details, it's time wasted that you can then be invested into yourself. And also, boys, like, you don't know other people's lives, all right? Everyone has got their own problems, their own insecurities, their own doubts, their own worries. They're probably regretting the past, dreading the future. Like, you're just seeing snapshots, all right? And behind the filtered facades, the airbrushed images, the plastered smiles, we're all just human beings, right? We're all just human beings. We all just want to connect. We all just want to be loved. We all want to be accepted for who we are rather than what we have. And especially us as guys, I think in this manospheric red pill space, there is this emphasis on accumulating more and more materialistic trophies, right? I'm not saying don't do those things. It's great to be ambitious. It's great to be radically ambitious, but you can't ignore the inner game. Right, I heard Alex Hormozy say, money only solves money problems, right? You can have the flashy car, the great watch, the penthouse in Malibu, but if you still talk down to yourself, if you're still a crushingly cruel commentator of yourself, then when you do go over to that girl who you really like and you're carrying all of that emotional baggage and you feel as though your worth is dictated by the things that you own rather than the person that you are, it's no wonder why Susie runs off into the distance. Like actually harnessing your social skills, building a bulletproof character, which is forged in the fires of adversity. So just doing difficult things as often as possible, getting cold showers every single day, training hard at the gym, doing high intensity interval training, so hill sprints. That's what I've been doing here in the fucking Algarve. Like, I can't just sit by the pool. Do you know what I mean? I can't just sit by the pool and do nothing. I need to feel as though I'm putting the reps in. I want to get to the end of the day feeling exhausted with accomplishment. And like, people be like, oh, you know, like, you're a workaholic, like, you work too hard. It's like, no, that's just what gives me my satisfaction. I don't get satisfied by sipping margaritas by the pool. I get satisfied by creating work of value, by changing the lives of other guys around the world. Sometimes guys who I've never even met before, like, you might be watching this live stream, you've never even met me in real life, but you feel as though you know me. My content has an impact because you resonate with the things that I do. Like, that's where I get my satisfaction. I think as men, that's what we need. It's like the money, the holidays, the women, like those are all beautiful byproducts of an even more beautiful journey towards masculine excellence, right? Being able to get to that place of self-adoration where you've seen shit, right? You can handle shit. It's like the James Bond and Muse mastery. But yeah, just doing difficult things as often as possible. Cold approach, cold showers, high intensity interval training, stand up, improv, go into like a fitness class. I did that actually when I was in Manchester. Like just go into like a fitness class, just something basic like that where I don't know anybody there. I've not really been to like a fitness class before. It's like a full body fitness class. It's just like just putting yourself out your comfort zone. It's like just catapulting yourself out of comfort, being like, oh yeah, shit, I've been invited to this thing. This kind of like scares me a little bit. I'm not quite sure why. So then you use resistance as your compass. Like whatever you're resisting right now, do the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like create a fear list. Like write down all the things that currently scare you, and then start doing them. And then they're not fears anymore, right? They're just things that you used to be scared of. And it's fine to be scared. Everyone's fucking scared. Like every single person is fucking scared. I'm scared. You're scared. The man in the fucking moon is scared. Like we're all just people. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just, I think sometimes you get brainwashed by the brain dead into thinking that you have to be this like stone cold robotic alpha who's got no emotions. That's why for me, in the conversations that you see me have on YouTube, I'm a big advocate of state transparency, all right? So saying what you feel rather than what you feel you ought to say. And this links into she needs to be taught how to have a cold approach conversation, because if you can humanize your conversations by being transparent with your state, it alleviates you and also her of the pressure to perform, and it gives you the permission to be free. Does that make sense? So like if because she feels a spotlight effect as well, right? She feels nervous in that conversation. So by you being able to just declare what you're feeling in the moment, it's like, whew, it's like, right, okay, now we can connect on a human level. You're anxious for approaching me. Like I'm anxious for approaching you. You're probably anxious because you don't know what to say. Like she's in her head as well. Do you know what I mean? She's worried like, shit, what if I run out of things to say? Like sometimes that's like that's why they ask you basic questions. Like she's not always asking you questions because she's hooking. like guys like, oh yeah, she asked me questions, bro. That must mean she likes me. No, she's probably asking you questions because this is her way of trying to find a footing in the conversation. Oh, what do you do for a job? Or do you live around here? Or what are you doing today? Like those are not necessarily like the hook point, like basically like old school, like fucking day games, like you're looking for a hook point of when the girl has started to become invested. But the hook point doesn't need to be a question, right? You know if a girl's hooked within the first 3 seconds, right? She either likes you or she doesn't. And that's why all this game trumps all is absolute a pile of horseshit. The way you win with day game, the way that I teach my guys and I teach you as well, you become the most fuckable version of yourself, you build up your value, and then you use this as a way of delivering your value, because the more valuable of a prospect you are, the more likely that she's going to want to see you again within those first 3 seconds. Like that's when she's deciding. It's probably less than that. It's probably the first second. But also, when you do become more fuckable, all right, so you become aesthetically more fuckable, you become emotionally more fuckable. So like you can handle shit, you're not gonna cry if she says no thank you. You can walk through life with a smile on my face, with a smile on your face. Remember, throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it. That's your bulletproof bravado, that's your mental mastery. Like when you feel as though you are the fucking guy, girls start noticing, all right? They're not just looking at you because you look visually good, they're looking at you because they can smell the energy of a winner, all right? It's like, yeah, this guy's on his fucking mission, this guy's on his path, this guy's on his hashtag purpose. You walk differently. You walk differently when you're on that hyper fuckable journey of becoming the most fuckable version of you. Like the world can just smell it on you. It really can. Like you can tell a guy who is tapped in to life, right? And you usually, for me, it is within those first few seconds. I know if I'm going to be friends for life with somebody or if we're probably never going to see each other again. And you can judge a man's life by the quality of the questions that he asks, right? If a guy like asks me a question like, Christian, how many approaches until I get a result? I'm like, bro, that question is so basic, I can't even be fucked thinking about it. Like, what do you mean how many approaches to get a result? What does that even mean, right? But if a guy asks me, Christian, how do I become the greatest? Like, how do I become the greatest ever person who's ever done day game? How can I conquer the world? How can I become a multi-millionaire? Like, those are the questions, right? Those are the questions you should be fucking asking. Because all the other shit is just so basic. Christian, what do I do if a girl stops responding? Christian, how do I get this one girl? Like, look at your life holistically. If you're asking those basic questions, it's no wonder that girls don't want to fuck you. right? Because the questions that you're asking are so surface level, it's laughable, right? Like, how do I become the most fuckable version of myself? How do I become the greatest lover a woman has ever known? How do I take over the world? How do I build a global network of radically ambitious action takers? How do I, and then insert your thing, right? But it needs to have gravity to it. Because if you're not asking those solid questions, those questions which actually excite you and even what scare you a little bit, then what's the fucking point? It's like, oh, how do I make a cheese toastie? No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck about the cheese toastie. But how can I create the greatest cheese toastie the world has ever known? So the fucking king of fucking England, shout out. Obviously, we'll do a live stream together soon, Charlie boy. So the king of England just jizzes over it. Like, you know, empire visions, right? Empire fucking visions, right? It's not how can we create a village, it's how can we go to fucking Mars, right? Fucking Elon Musk, that's what I'm talking about. Those fucking empire visions. There's a really good documentary actually of Elon Musk. Just type in like Elon Musk documentary YouTube, but like I've got a podcast about it actually, just like how inspiring that is. Like the guy's got all these like multiple businesses. He's like taking over so many different industries. He's like doing this thing, fucking space exploration. He's got his like fucking solar panels. He's got his fucking Tesla. He did the PayPal thing. It's just like bang, 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 empire visions. Like how can we take it? Let's go to fucking Mars. You know, fuck Earth. Let's go to Mars. Like, and that's what I try. Like, that's what I try and meditate on and push myself towards those visions of excellency. Because otherwise, what's the point? You know, that's how, like, what's the point in starting something if you don't want to be the best at it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, fucking, what's the point of that? Like, I don't know. We're all different, but I think my biggest fear is living a life of mediocrity. Yeah, and that probably ties into the fact that I'm an insecure piece of shit, and I see me accumulating materialistic trophies and success, whatever, as a way of me getting validation from the world. But yeah, so be it. I'm fully aware of it. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're aware of it and you can use it in a positive way, then it's great. I heard Alex Hormozy, I think he got it from the other guy, Sam Ovens. It's I call it superior inferiority, and he's like, there's three characteristics that create successful people. All successful people have these three characteristics. At one point, they feel as though they're better than everybody else, right? And at the same time, they feel as though they are an unlovable piece of shit who's never going to be enough no matter what they do. And they also have impulse control, all right? So they can dedicate themselves to something for an excruciatingly long time and just eat shit for as long as possible, right? They can just eat shit. They can just outwork their self-doubt longer than anyone else is prepared to do. So I always find that interesting. I definitely resonate with that. I get comments all the time being like, oh, you're an asshole. you love yourself, as if like loving yourself is a fucking pejorative. But like, you know, I resonate with that because I'm very transparent with the content and the message that I put out there. Like, I'm definitely an insecure piece of shit, but at the same time, I also think that I'm the best fucking thing on the earth. I believe that I'm truly special, and I believe that I was put on this earth for a reason. And I've also got impulse control as well. I can dedicate myself to something for a very long time and not need to see any results from it. I'm just like, boom, 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 let's just keep doing the thing, right? The rep itself is the reward. Rather than I'm going to the gym to get a great body, I'm going to the gym to go to the gym because I'm establishing that sense of discipline, right? And it's like, that's why when guys come and work with me, it's different, right? It's different to other fucking quote unquote coaches who are just supplying a service, right? They'll teach you how to talk to a girl. Maybe you'll get results, maybe you don't. There's no aftercare in place. There's no like, how are you doing? Like fucking 2 years later. It's none of that shit. It's just like, you pay me money. I'll teach you how to do some basic things. Maybe you'll get results, maybe you won't. And then I'm on to the next one. They're fucking mercenaries rather than missionaries. And that's why I've always strived to I've always seen myself as separate to this industry. I'm not a day gamer. I'm not a dating coach. I'm a free and from bullshit practitioner. I am a Renaissance warrior, and my whole philosophy of life is freedom from bullshit. And everything that I do is an extension of my freedom from bullshit personality. Because at the end of the day, bro, I just want to feel alive. Right? I want to feel alive. Right? That's why I do what I do. I want to feel alive. I want to feel as though I've got to the end of every day exhausted with accomplishment, where I feel like, yes, mate, we fucking made a difference today. People always talk about changing the world. You start by changing someone's world, right? If I put this live stream out today and one person somewhere in the world in fucking Sarajevo watches it and it stops him from fucking doing himself over, mate, I fucking succeeded. And we do that again the next day, right? Even if this live stream gets 2 views, but one of the people who viewed that video, it has a meteoric impact, and then they go and be like the fucking heavyweight champion of eating cheese toasties. Like, I've succeeded, right? Like everyone's always like, oh, I need to get like the big fucking numbers. It's like, yeah, cool, it's a game. Like we all want to hit the big numbers. Like no one starts YouTube because they want to get like 1 subscriber. No one enters the Olympics because they want to get 8th place. Like we all want to win. But like you have to, I think in my opinion, what I've learned is you redefine what winning actually means. And it's like, you become famous for a few, right? You become famous for a few, and that's when you win. If you've got 1,000 people who love you, who adore you, who've got the money to pay you, and you've got 1,000 of those people, like, mate, you take that to the fucking moon. Well, that's how you fucking start like an online brand. That's how I've been able to build this from nothing to bringing over £10,000 in a single month. It's like you build it, you create it, and you have your bad months, you have your good months. You get people who hate you, you get people who love you, you get people who've never even fucking heard of you. It doesn't fucking matter. It all just is, right? But as long as you're falling forwards, you're falling forwards. Does that make sense? So I've gone on a fucking rampage here, bro. I was like, oh, title of the video, she needs to be taught how to be approached. I've gone like absolute fucking ramble, but this is fucking value. And this is how I am, right? I zigzag from topic to topic, but that's just how it needs to be, right? It's like, oh, people be like, oh, you've got ADHD. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I have ADHD. No one's got ADHD. What even is ADHD? Like everyone's got ADHD these days. Like stop self-diagnosing yourself. Like guys like, oh, I've got approach anxiety. No, you don't have approach anxiety. You've just got resistance, which is completely normal just because you've not done this enough times. Like approach anxiety is not real, all right? Approach anxiety is something the dating industry created so it could sell more products. All right, anxiety is not an illness; it's an emotion, and like any emotion, it can be handled, it can be controlled, and it can also be used to your advantage. Right? Tell yourself you're excited. Tell yourself that everyone feels that feeling. All it is resistance towards doing the thing. Like if you've never swam before, like obviously you're gonna have a little bit of resistance there, but as soon as someone pushes you into the water, yeah, you'll fucking learn, right? Approach anxiety it's not real, right? You don't have it. It's not something you can catch. You've just got a lot of resistance there because maybe you weren't loved as a child. You're petrified that you're not going to receive love from the feminine, so you don't approach because you're shit scared, because you're worried that this woman could be both your salvation and your destruction, right? That woman that you want to approach, she represents everything, like the ruthless ballad of the divine feminine, right? She could either be your lover or she could be your executioner, right? That makes sense. It's like you're seeing that in that woman. You're placing all of that onto this girl that you've never even, like, you don't even fucking know her. And that's why you've got all that anxiety there, right? It's just because you want to be loved by her. But you're worried that if you go over and she says no thank you, it's going to confirm that perceived lack of self-worth that you've been carrying with yourself for fuck knows how long. And I think for me, like, cold approach day game has always been the ultimate exposure therapy. And that's why I say to my boys, like, this goes deeper than day game, right? This is about becoming the most fuckable version of you on this journey of masculine excellence and being actually going after what you want rather than settling for what you think you can get, and just actually being able to face your fears at the end of the day. That's why I say the beautiful women are a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life, of this beautiful process that you are every single day going out there and doing the thing that scares you, and just giving yourself a little bit of slack as well, right? Cold approach is fucking difficult, right? It's biological suicide. Like if you were to approach a pretty girl back in the caveman days and she was like, no, thank you, it would have meant your DNA wasn't worthy of replication. We carried that forward into the modern day. So, cut yourself a bit of slack, but don't be so lenient on yourself that gives you license to be lazy. I've actually created a video. I've been on a fucking content roll. So I've created like an actual video, not a live stream, which I'm gonna edit it and put it together soon for you boys. But that video, I think, is going to change a lot of lives. I really enjoyed making that video, actually. I feel as though I'm getting better now on camera. Like when I look back, like the first sort of like 18 months of me making these videos, it's like I'm still trying to find my voice. Do you know what I mean? I came across as quite like robotic on camera. Like I was really good on the infield, but like when I was talking to the camera back in the day, I was like super robotic because like I've got no one to actually speak to, so I've got no one to bounce off. So like when I'm giving advice to the camera, I just sound like an absolute fucking robot. I think someone described me as like lurch, which is hilarious. But it's good feedback, It's good feedback to get. Be like, bro, you are shit on camera, mate. Do you know what? I agree. I used to be awful on camera. I'm getting better. It's a process. We're all gonna make it. Hashtag cope. But yeah, she needs to be taught how to be cold approach by. So you see that pretty girl. Excuse me, hi, you look absolutely beautiful. She looks a little bit unusual. I know this is completely random. No, people don't usually do it, but I would have regretted if I didn't come over here and tell you look great. She's still looking a little bit perplexed. Yo, like, what's going on? Like, you're just looking at me like I've just killed somebody. Like, has this never happened to you before? I feel like a pretty girl like you should be getting approached 100 times a day by me as well. Although if she's still not buying, then just wish her a good day. Like, she just might be in a weird position. She might just be a weird girl. Like, there are plenty of weird girls about. There's plenty of weird guys about. But yeah, like, she needs to be taught, because the conversation I was having with a guy who's like, bro, Day game is like the glitch in the matrix, all right? Like it's truly the cheat code into the sexual marketplace for the right guys, right? You do need to become fuckable in order to use day game as a superpower, right? It is an amplifier. Like day game is an amplifier. If you're a guy who is fuckable, day game makes you even more fuckable. But if you're a weird, creepy guy who's got nothing going on in his life and all you do all day, every day is comment negative things in the YouTube comment section because it makes you feel more validated as a victim, then of course you're not going to get results from this because it's going to make you seem even more weird because of the socially unorthodox nature, right? So it'll amplify where you're at in your life and it'll also hold a mirror up to where you're at in your life as well. Does that make sense? So it amplifies, right? So become fuckable, build your value. I'm not saying that you need to become a male model. You don't need to look like you've just come off the catwalk of Paris Fashion Week, but for fuck's sake, take care to take care, right? Like fitness and fashion are the two things that any guy should work on, in my opinion, right? Train hard at the gym 3 times a week so you can actually get yourself into respectable shape and clothes look good on you. And if you're struggling on the fashion side, just get yourself a personal stylist. Like, so many guys who I work with, they get themselves a personal stylist before they come and work with me because they understand, after watching a lot of my content, they understand the importance of those first 3 seconds. Like, what is it? You don't get a fucking second chance to make a first impression. It's so true. And also, like, when you do actually become fuckable, girls are giving you those looks, and then it's about warm approaching, right? It's about warm approaching then. Like, she's already give you a look. She's already eye fucking you. So it's like an open goal. You just need to kick the ball in, right? So that's a beautiful byproduct of becoming more fuckable. You don't even have to be dependent on cold approach anymore. You're literally going out there, warm approaching, right? Like literally one of my favorite things to do now, and I could never do this like 2.5 years ago because I looked like a fucking eaten mess. I looked disgusting. No one was looking at me. I think the only people looking at me being like, fuck me, I'm glad I don't look like that guy. But now when I'm going out there, I'm making sure, I'm wearing good clothes. Maybe I've done something difficult that day, like stacked some wins before I've gone out there, like some like hill sprints, or I've trained hard like a savage at the gym. It's like, so I'm oozing that energy of a winner, right? So does that make sense? Like I'm oozing the energy of a winner. I've had a cold shower, I've trained like a savage, put some good clothes on, I fucking scruffed up my hair a little bit. I have to keep up appearances. And then when I go outside, I'm going out IOI hunting, like indicators of interest hunting, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm going out there IOI hunting. Like anyone who looks at me is getting spoken to. And they might not even be looking at me because they necessarily find me attractive. They might just find me interesting enough to look at for a little bit longer than necessary. But like, if you walk out the house, let's say there's a girl who is really attracted to you, but let's say you walk out the house that day and you feel like a piece of shit, and let's say she looks at you, even though you look like a piece of shit that day, let's say she looks at you and she does actually find you attractive, then you're gonna interpret that look as an indicator of disinterest, right? Because you're like, oh my God, she looked at me because I look so bad. But if you're leaving the house, the exact same girl, she looks at you, and then you're like, yeah, she definitely wants me. It's all about the interpretation attached to it, but it's like the interpretation is born from the pre-gaming that you did, like the work that you put in. Like those successful conversations that you're having, they are a product of all the reps you've put in up to that point. And look, you can become the most fuckable version of you. Not every girl's gonna want to fuck you. Right? Like, you're just not going to be every girl's type. This is something that I struggled with back in the day. I was like, oh, fuck Christian. Not every girl wants to fuck us. Like, I was so entitled 2.5 years ago. I was like absolute horseshit. I was like, why does she not want to fuck me? It's because you look the way you do, you wanker. But like, even when you do become the most fuckable version of yourself, and by the way, I'm not the finished product, right? I always think this to myself, like, I think in terms of decades rather than days. When I get to like 31, 32, getting close to the fucking hashtag male advantage, shout out Chris, when I'm getting closer to the male advantage, it's funny because I've got a friend in Manchester. If you're watching this live stream, we always just laugh about it doesn't matter. Inside joke, forget it, shut up Christian. But like, I'm 26 right now, and I'm still climbing that ladder of fuckability. And where I'm at right now, in 2 years, I guarantee I'm going to be looking back at who I was when I was 26 and be like, oh my God, what even was this? And like, for me, that sense of future projection, it keeps you sane. Like, everyone's always like, yeah, bro, be present, be grateful for what you've got. And it's like, yes, but mate, what if your current present moment sucks absolute balls? For me, the only place of salvation is the future, because the future provides optimism, and the optimism provides hope, and a man without hope is dead, right? So if your current present moment is absolute shit, like mine was 2.5 years ago, and I was living in that grotty apartment in central Leeds, I was on £24.82 of universal credit, I could barely afford to heat my flat in the winter, my magic business had got wiped out by COVID, and I was starting building this business that I've got now. Like, all I had was blind, delusional optimism, right? I do think if you're making content, or if you're a writer, or if you're a performer, you need a obnoxious amount of delusional self-belief. I think you have to be extremely narcissistic to believe that what you're creating is actually useful. But that's not a bad trait, right? Like, narcissism just means self-adoration, right? It's like when Cristiano Ronaldo comes off the football field, they're like, yo, and he, let's say, just got a hat trick. He's not like, oh yeah, I just did it for the team. Fuck that. He's like, yeah, mate, got an absolute hat trick. Those losers out there, come fucking keep up with me, John Terry. But like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, I think there's just all this like fucking be humble culture, or like don't fucking rate yourself, or don't shout about your victories. It's like, why? Like, we all want to do it. Like, it's great to be your own biggest cheerleader. Like, obviously you don't want it to just lead to like blind arrogance, but I do think a lot of guys in this space, if you've been the perpetual nice guy for the entirety of your life, I do think going over to the other extreme is useful for a time being, because eventually you'll bounce back somewhere into the middle. You might be a little bit off-centered, but like, I think if you have just been the perpetual people pleaser who pedestalizes, who panders, who says please, please, please to everybody, like, I do think you just need to grow a set of balls and start acting in a way that you've always wanted to act but have been too scared to try, right? Because all we are is repeated patterns of behavior that we've accepted over time as ourselves, and those identities become solidified through the language that we use. Oh, I'm no good with women. Well, too fucking right, you're not good with women, because that's a narrative that you're following, right? We are what we practice, right? And pray as if it's already been done. That's what the Bible says. Pray as if it's already been done. So act as if. Like, if you can act confident, then you are by default a confident person. That makes sense. Like, we're limitless, right? We're just repeated patterns of behavior. So if I was sat in this room for the next year of my life speaking to nobody, I'd become more introverted. I would be shit with people, because that's just what I've been practicing. I've been practicing introversion. Yeah, I think we've all got a natural inclination to one or the other, but I do think to an extent we are all omniverts, and we become what we practice. If you approached one girl every single day for the next year, you would become better at approaching girls. Like, you just would, because you've done it more often. Or if you wanted to get better, I don't know, keep your uppies with a football. If you practiced it every day for the next year, like, you'd be able to do it with your eyes fucking closed. It's like when I was performing magic, like, I could shuffle cards. At the start, I was shit at it, but after doing it for 10 years, I was an absolute pro. So I'm like, give me a deck of cards. Yes, mate, I can shuffle those, right? You get confident. Like, true confidence, though, true confidence is optimism in the absence of certainty. That's really what confidence is. People are always like, oh, confidence is certainty. I don't think it is. I think confidence is feeling optimistic in the absence of certainty. So like, no matter what, I can handle it, right? So if someone said to me right now, Christian, you need to do a backflip into that swimming pool. Even though I've never done it before, I think just being able to attack that challenge, be like, yeah, I can do that. It's easy. I can do that. Like, that's confidence. It's optimism in the absence of certainty. Like, my mind is like, can we really do this? But I think just acting as if you can do the thing, like, even if you don't do it, you're going to have a better time doing the thing than if you just went into that experiencing failure in advance, right? It's like, that's confidence, experiencing success in advance. Interesting. But yeah, she needs to be taught how to be approached by you. Every conversation and every girl on every single day is different, but actually just being able to call out the fact, because she feels a spotlight effect as well. So like, if you see a girl that you really want to speak with, but it's a very busy, crowded area, it's actually probably better letting that girl go, because she's going to feel the spotlight and she's probably not going to thank you. I mean, she might do, we don't know, but she's probably not going to thank you for putting her on the spot in front of a big crowd of people. So there's a difference between social freedom and social stupidity. It is a fine line, but like, if you do see a girl and you think, do you know what, that's a little bit too crowded, I'm going to leave that one. Maybe when I loop back around, she's going to be in a more approachable spot, then fine. But like, it's fine to let some of them walk on by if you don't feel as though it's conducive for a conversation. And not every girl is going to be in the market for a conversation as well, right? Not every girl. Like with this, it does, a lot of it it comes down to timing, right? Like, right girl, different day, or same girl, different day, different story. Like, she might just broke up with a boyfriend, dog might have just died. It might be like her anniversary today with her absolute lover. Like, you don't know. You don't know where the girl's going to be in the moment. You don't know who you're actually approaching. But when you are approaching it, just in your mind, just remind yourself that this is a socially unorthodox thing to do, especially like in British culture. It's just all getting a little bit meh. So you have to have the social intelligence to recognize that she just most likely needs her hand holding through the experience. And then if you can be the guys who actually do it, just call out the fact, naming the elephant in the room. Like, you see me do this on a lot of my conversations. Just literally watch my infield footage to see me do this in action. Just calling out the facts, or if I'm nervous, or if I'm anxious, or if I didn't really want to approach today because I was feeling quite socially lethargic, I'm just naming that stuff. All right. And like this, if you're someone who's worried about running out of things to say, this works so well. You're never going to be worried about running out of things to say ever again. If you know that once you have run out of things to say, that then becomes your conversation material. Okay, I've run out of things to say. You're going to have to help me out before this gets awkward. We're going to have to talk about our family and our hashtag feelings and stuff. It humanizes the conversation. It gives her permission to suck as well. It's like, okay, I'm speaking with a human being rather than this guy who's trying to be pretending to be something that he's not. He's trying to be suave, charming, charismatic. He's just trying too hard to be perfect. You just need to reject your need for any sort of guarantee. Fuck being perfect, just show up, all right? Just show up, just do the thing, and just commend yourself for actually putting the fucking reps in. But yeah, boys, if you're watching this live stream, then give it a like. If you're watching it on repeat, wherever you're watching it, Dude, good haircut, man. Some girls are just disinterested in you. If you're nice, friendly commerce, just move on 100%. You definitely want to be as attractive as possible. Some girls will check you out and give IOIs and make sure your approach is more receptive. What are some dead clear IOIs, and what does it mean? A really clear IOI is when the girl says, I really want to fuck you. That's as concrete as it gets, where she starts undressing you whilst you're speaking with her. I think IOIs can be quite subtle. I think it does come down to, I call it female fluency. And for me, it's easier if you're with someone else. Right? Like when I'm coaching guys, there's so many guys who don't even notice the looks that they're getting. And that's why they don't know what IOIs actually look like. Because I've been in this game for a long time now, and because I know the difference between IOI and IOD, if I'm walking with a guy, like we're just having a little conversation, I'm always on the lookout, right? As soon as I see a girl who's about to walk past us, I'm gonna see if she looks. If she looks at him, I'm saying, bro, that girl just gave you a look. Just go over there. He's like, bro, I didn't even realize that. What girl? It's like, you're not paying attention, right? So you get it through. Just a really practical thing you can do is when you do leave the house, try and make eye contact with 3 beautiful girls. And if they hold your gaze longer than a couple of seconds, or if they look at you, let's say you see a girl who's walking towards you, she looks at you, she looks away, and she looks back again. So she takes a double take. That's a clear IOI, or indicator of interest. Yeah, she's signaling to you that she's interested in you. Or if you're speaking with a girl and she crosses her legs, like there's so many guys who don't even know what the fuck that means. Like if you're speaking with a girl and she literally crosses her legs, that is a super good sign. All right, on the most basic level, it's her making the decision to stay. All right, imagine that there was a fire about to break out. You wouldn't have your legs crossed. You'd have your legs far apart. Well, not crazy far apart, but like you'd have your legs far apart so you could actually move, right? If she's got her legs crossed, first of all, it means she's crazy turned on by you. So this will usually happen quite fast. Like if you approach a girl and your open is like 10 out of 10, you are a fuckable man. And you're like, yo, excuse me, you make the solid eye contact, excuse me, I just want to say that you look fucking beautiful. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And then they cross straight away, then you're in, right? Like that's like the cross legs, for me, they're the best IOIs. Like, yeah, guys, like, oh, if she's like playing with the hair, I don't really care about that one because girls play with the hair all the time. I'm more looking for like where the legs are and where the feet are, all right? So a person's feet will always point in the direction that they want to travel. So if she's got her legs crossed and her feet are pointing towards you, it basically means wand me. get in my belly. Those are the IOIs that I'm looking for. That's in the conversation.
Out of the conversation, it's like, is she looking at you? Because like I was saying before, even if she's looking at you just because you're there, you might as well use it as a segue into your conversation, right? You might as well just, if you have made eye contact with the girl, even if she's not thinking about fucking you right now, like the fact that you've gone over there, you're like, yo, excuse me, you just made crazy eye contact back there. I just want to say you look fucking beautiful. Like even if she wasn't considering fucking you when she first saw you, she most likely is now because she wasn't expecting to see you again. Right? And the fact that you've gone over and you've got the audacity to approach her stone cold sober, and also you're calling out the fact that you're literally being so audacious with it. Like, I just saw you checking me out. I couldn't just let you walk on by. I'm just a piece of meat, you know, I've got feelings and stuff. You can see that on the video that I posted. I can't remember what its title. It's like, why you should stop cold approaching girls or something. It's the warm approaching video where I literally see a girl around Kensington in London and she gives me a massive filthy look. I go over there, I'm just like, yo, excuse me, I just saw you checking me out. And then boom, you're in. That's warm approaching. Like that literally, that's how you get the best results from this, right? That is literally the blueprint, right? You become the most fuckable version of yourself, right? Yes, we've all got a genetic baseline that we're working with. Some guys do just have it easier than others, but the way you win at the game of life is not by complaining about the cards you've been dealt, but playing your hand to the best of your ability and having a rip-roaring good time playing the game. Like, please use me, use this catalog of content as a case study. Look back at my older videos. Look how atrocious that I used to look. Look what I've actually done to develop myself holistically, the fashion, the fitness, the finances, like who I am as a person. That's your ultimate superpower in the sexual marketplace, because you can lose all of the other things. You can lose your car, you could lose your money, you could lose your fucking clothes. Fucking Robin Hood could come in dead of night and take it all. But like, you can lose all of these things, right? The thing that remains is the person you are, or the person you built yourself into becoming. It's your character, it's your bulletproof bravado, your bulletproof belief. It's that confidence, is optimism in the absence of certainty. It's no matter what, I can handle it. It's throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it. And that's why I'm so happy that I dedicated a decade of my life to building my character. Right? I dedicated 10 years of my life to performing magic. I was doing street shows where I was actually busking on the street. No one shows up. I'm trying to like draw a crowd. Like, yo, come and watch my fucking magic show at like 16 years old. I'm in like cities where I don't even know anybody. I'm trying to get people to come and like watch the show, and now I'm trying to get them to pay me for the show. I've got hecklers. I've got people laughing at me. I've got people like, what is this guy doing? Is this guy like on fucking like crack cocaine or something? Like, he's just in the street performing magic to nobody. Or maybe I'm performing to an audience of 2 people who stay for like 2 minutes then walk away. Or I'm performing in working men's clubs in Liverpool and everyone who I approach is just like, fuck off, mate. Or they're literally laughing at the fact that I'm trying to make money from being a magician. I've even got my own family who are chastising the decision that I made. Like, my dad wanted me to go in the fucking submarine factory. I'm like, fuck you, old man, I want to be a magician. Did not go down very well, but fuck you. But it's like, all of this, and that's why I always say to myself that I've been put on this earth for a fucking reason. Like, no one else does that, right? No one else does that, right? It just takes a special type of person to go through the fire for as long as I've gone through. And that's why when you come and spend time with me, you're learning through osmosis, right? You're learning. My approach to life becomes your approach to life. I've given myself permission to live as I please. I've given myself the permission to live a life free from bullshit. I've given myself the permission to go after what I want rather than settling for what I can get. And that's why my clients get rip-roaring results. That's why they leave the testimonial and say, mate, you've changed my life. Thank you so much. Like, that's what I'm in this for. And you can watch the videos actually that I made with Ephraim, who I coached for 4 weeks out in Warsaw. You can see the development. Like, we first started working together, shit scared to approach a girl. By the end of it, he's fucking making videos on camera. He's got 3 dates in 1 day. He's like a completely transformed human being. And he's like fucking created his own YouTube channel. He's looking at leaving his job, like relocating. He's gonna come and join me out in fucking Argentina, wherever I go. Like, that's it, right? That's the fucking Casanovian impact. It's deeper than day game, right? It's not about fucking day game. It's such a small part of it. Right? This is about becoming the most fuckable version of you, saying fuck you to society, 2 middle finger salute for anyone who doesn't resonate with you, and just going on your path, right? Just rejecting anything from your reality that doesn't resonate with you. And like, that's why like I'm just not overly concerned with any of the vanity metrics, right? Whether I've got 3,000 followers, 300,000 followers, 300 million followers, like, it's getting the people who resonate with you. All right, because like if you put it like this way, like there's so many like personal trainers online. Like the one that you resonate with is not necessarily the one who's got the most subscribers, or not even necessarily who's got the best body. It's just the one who you know, you like, and you trust. Right? So it's like that everyone resonates with different people. If you don't resonate with me, then don't apply to work with me. But if you do like slightly resonate with me, if you are slightly considering about working with me, for fuck's sake, book a call. Like this is the best side of life over here. And we are gonna have the most obnoxiously entertaining time together. That's what I say to guys. I literally feel as though I'm sat on Bitcoin back in 2008, and I just want to shout from the rooftops of how valuable this product actually is. But listen, it's your life. Do what you want. I can't fucking convince you to do anything you don't want to do. So yeah, but yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this live stream, boys. I think when you are going out there, just give yourself permission to suck. Like it's a difficult thing that you're doing, like putting yourself through the social fire. And I respect anybody who's got the balls to do it. But if you're not getting the results, then look at your life holistically. All right, maybe you're not fuckable right now. It's fine to admit that to yourself. Become more fuckable. Then go out again, get yourself connected with a tribe of like-minded Renaissance warriors who are there to push you and guide you, inspire you to become all you can be. And yeah, look, I truly wish you obnoxious success on your journey. I'll just see if anyone left any more comments. Yeah, cool. So, but yeah, don't be the guy that sleepwalks through life and wakes up when his best years are behind him. Go out there, treat the world like your personal playground. Do not die with your music still inside of you. I really hope you boys have enjoyed this one. If you have enjoyed it and you've been here from the start, I appreciate you. If you're watching it on repeat, then drop it a like. All information for upcoming coaching retreats can be found on the website, www.christiancasanova.com. If you are slightly considering working with me, then come and join me out in Krakow for the Game God Summit. It's a full 7 days of coaching. It's going to be the fucking flagship event of the summer. So yeah, come and join me out there before the final space gets taken away. And all other inquiries, you can email me, ukdagam@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram @ChristianMagician. Anything else that I've got to plug, /sell, plus shout about? Not really, mate. I think that's me done. Right, nice one. Love you. When are you in Krakow again? So I'll be in Krakow for like the majority of August, mate. So I'll be there from about the 5th till like the 25th. So the majority of August. And then I'll probably be back in the UK for a little bit of September, but as well, I will most likely be running an event in Lisbon at the end of September. All right, so more details will be disclosed about that. But yeah, Mr. fucking International over this side. So we've got Krakow, the Game God Summit. You can find all the details for it on my website, www.christiancasanova.com. Event at the end of September in Lisbon. If you're interested about any of the things that I've shared in this live stream, whether it's Argentina, Lisbon, Krakow, or even London coaching, whatever it is, get in contact with me because spaces fill up months in advance. I've only got so much time. I've only got so much energy. I only work with a specific number of guys every single month. So yeah, bros, hope you enjoyed this one. Email me, ukdagam@gmail.com. Go on the website, www.christiancasanova.com. And I will speak to you very soon. Love you. Mwah.